For those of you who don't know me, my name is Leanne Vogel. I'm a holistic nutritionist and high-fat enthusiast behind the site healthfulpursuit.com, and I help women regulate their hormones, balance their metabolisms, and generally be awesome by eating more fat. Today, we are talking about sweeteners and how they react in your body, the goods, the bads, the uglies, and how it affects your weight loss journey. So for those of you watching on Periscope right now, if you want to hold your questions to the very end, I will answer them all. So if you've asked a question, just copy paste it, and then you can ask it at the end. I'll only share content for a little bit, and then we will go through your questions about sweeteners and stuff. So I've been getting a lot of questions about stevia, and there was a recent article about stevia and it not being so good for you, and it causing cancer, and so I have not looked too much into this. It's a couple, I think it's only one resource, maybe one study that's been shared about stevia. My personal approach, and maybe that's a good place to start, is when I want sweet, I'll have sweet things. I don't really find that stevia does the trick for me oftentimes. I know that things like erythritol make me really sick. It kills my stomach for like weeks. It's no good. So anything that has erythritol in it, if I eat too much of it, it's just all bad news bears. So I usually try to avoid it. Xylitol I really like. I love it for making barbecue sauces. And we're just gonna, sorry. I love it for making keto barbecue sauces, so it's only just like a tablespoon, maybe 3 tablespoons. I really like the Birch Source non-corn kind, and if you're just starting off with xylitol, know that your body needs time to adjust to it. So if you're new to eating xylitol, please don't have like half a cup in a day because you will be in pain. Start off with like a teaspoon. Our body has enzymes to break down xylitol, but it needs time. So that's xylitol. We talked about erythritol. Stevia, I find, will still spike my blood sugar if it's not the alcohol-free drops. If it's anything but that, it will spike my blood sugar, which can lead to weight gain and cravings and overeating and all the things. So just be mindful of that. I think the key to artificial sweeteners or real sweeteners is just pay attention to your blood sugar. If you have a blood glucose monitor, that's awesome. You can see the sort of spikes that are happening. You can also gauge how hungry you are afterwards. So I've gotten to the point where if I'm making a tea or something, I don't even have to add stevia to it anymore. I just have it straight up. But if you're first starting off, stevia is a really good place to go. Like I said, I didn't read that most recent article about the stevia conundrum. I'm a big advocate of, like, if you want the sweet, probably the best option if you're doing a carb up and you're following my program Fat Fueled is have something like maple syrup at night. And if you're low carb, high fat, that's totally fine if you're following a Fat Fueled profile. Any of the 3 Fat Fueled profiles that I outline in my book, Fat Fueled, which I can link up to. I'll just find it on here so that I can switch it around so that you know. So you can take a screenshot if you want. So this is the program that I've been talking about. healthfulpursuit.com/Fat Fueled. If you use the coupon code Periscope, all in caps, you get 10% off. So you can take a screenshot actually of this page right now, of this video. You can share it on Twitter if you really want to, using any of your Twitter apps. So I'll switch it around, but this is the program that I'm referencing right now. So I'll switch it around now. So if you're following that sort of Fat Fueled profile, having maple syrup at night, just like a drop, is totally okay. And I like maple syrup more than, say, like a honey because of the fructose, and the fructose really bothers my skin. And just makes me crave more sugar. So it totally depends. Like, you can tell I had fructose the other day. Whoopsies. Can see little cameras. You can see little cameras. Oh yeah, from the screenshots. So those are kind of like erythritol I don't really like. Stevia I like. Xylitol I really like for like sugar-free, especially baking. So good. And then maple syrup when you're doing a carb up, also great. And I'm not a big fan of things like aspartame, sucralose, like any of those artificial things. They can majorly spike your blood sugar. In fact, I worked with a couple of diabetic clients when I was first getting going with like being a holistic nutritionist, and a lot of the diabetics who were drinking diet pops and sodas, I think is what you call them in the States, a soda, they couldn't control their blood sugar. And as soon as we removed those diet products that had aspartame, they could completely control it. So I don't know, it's a pretty good indication of what's happening. So let's cut over to, oh no, wait, before I want to talk about the connection of sugar and weight. I touched on it a little bit, so just to clarify, usually what happens is the connection between these sweeteners or sugar and weight is usually because what happens is when we have sugary things that spike up our blood sugar, it goes up here and then it crashes. And within 2 hours, we're hungry again, but we're not actually hungry. But we need to eat because we're going crazy and we could punch somebody in the mouth for food. So this is what happens. It's an overeating cycle of these highs and low blood sugar that causes us to eat when we're not actually hungry and causes us to probably eat more sugar than we probably wanted to. So that's usually what happens with that cycle. So finding a sweetener that doesn't spike your blood sugar or keeps it pretty maintained is a good option for you. And alcohol-free stevia, I think it's called like stevia glycerate, is the only way for me to keep balanced on that front. Okay, let's cut to questions. So before we get to the most exciting part of every Periscope, if you're new here and you haven't shared yet, you can go to that dude right there and share this with your Twitter, Facebook, or Periscope pals. So let's cut to the Q&A. Also, something super exciting that I didn't mention, my audiobooks are coming out in like less than 2 weeks. So watch for that. Super excited. Coconut sugar. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of it, but I'll leave it up to you. I find it pretty high in sugar. It always affects me and my blood sugar. So I don't do it, but you can. I would assume that someone with a birch tree allergy should stay away from xylitol. Good point, definitely. Your perception of sweet leaf. I do like the sweet leaf powder that comes in the little packets that you can take with you, but I don't really enjoy their liquid. I don't really like it that much. I haven't found one that I really like. It has like this weird taste to it. The only one that I like is Now Foods Stevia Glycerate, and it's vegetable-based glycerine with stevia and no alcohol. And I love that stuff. It's so good. Questions. Yeah, audiobooks. I'll just cut to that again because I'm so excited. So if you go to healthfulpursuit.com in the next couple of days, the audiobooks are going to be live without having launched yet. So be mindful of that. And if you've already purchased any of my products, you get a sweet deal, but you have to wait for that email. So let me know your questions. I was just trying to fill space. Let's see. Any questions? Okay. Interesting. So many fewer cravings since going dairy free. That is a very real thing. That is a very real thing. That's awesome. Congratulations. So great. Actually, when I was experimenting with butter, I craved sugar like crazy. So no more dairy for this girl. I saw the tab on your store for the audiobooks and got excited. I'm sorry. Yeah, it says coming soon. But again, Easter Sunday, check for it. Maybe even before. How to test sugar with monitor hours after eating. How can I get off Diet Coke? Okay, so stop asking questions so I want to make sure I answer everyone's question. Diet Coke, the best thing to do is mineral water with tea and stevia and flavored vinegars. We'll be back on Thursday for a Q&A, and watch for my audiobooks. They're coming out very soon, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye.